But yeah, Dusty, why don't you play us the song of your people?
The song of my people?
Yes. Whatever this turns out to be.
This is a terrible time for Discord's audio to come out.
Hello and welcome everybody to the AWKWARDCast, A and Keyframe, what about random dribble? Today on the lunchbox guitar,
I'm not even mad.
Dusty Katt!
Hello! It's out of tune.
I don't have an instrument.
Well,
Hi,
today,
everybody.
but I have...
I got it, and this fits my brand.
And I'm still clappy. Today's AWKWARDCast is brought to you...
On the pill bottle maraca.
Today's AWKWARDCast is brought to you by Star-Lord. Water with Star-Lord.
By Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh. By Audible.
Exactly. Not
Our
the
favorite,
I have 3 books on Audible.
3? Oh my!
Oh.
Not bad. Not bad.
I've done 3 books that are up
Oh wait!
on Audible right now.
Wait! You have. Okay, sorry. I understood it like
He
you.
narrates books.
Yes.
Narrates
Okay.
books.
Right. You actually mentioned it last time, and horrible person as I am, I cannot remember the titles. But yeah.
Yes.
But that sounds like something great to plug when somebody in this show might ask you, "Hello, Dusty Katt, please, for the people who don't know you, tell us, who are you, what do you do, and why should people care?"
Okay, my name is Dusty Rhodes, also known as Dusty Katt in the My Little Pony fan. I'm also known as the manliest brony in the world, which had one of the very first viral videos to go viral on YouTube way back in the day. And then that got me into doing a live stream show called Stay Brony, My Friends, which was an hour-and-a-half talk show, which basically I had people from... I was one of the very first shows that had people live that worked on My Little Pony, voice actors, directors, writers, people like that. That went on for a few years, which got me into being on stage, doing charity auctions, doing improvisation, working with AC Race Best and Saber Spark on their shows. And then that got me into Bronies React.
And today you have a cooking
A
show.
lot of fun. I had a cooking show for a little while.
Wait, this was supposed to be a joke. You really had one?
Yeah.
Oh, I was not aware. I was joking because I
He's
found
done
cooking
some music.
pictures
I've
on...
done some cooking.
Cooking show?
I've done some.
Not you. You are not a cooking show.
I worked at a 4-star seafood restaurant for most of my high school career. So basically, I would go to football practice, go straight to work, go to basketball practice, go straight to work.
Huh.
I worked in a seafood restaurant for like 7 years. I was a prep cook, line cook, dish dog, busboy, the brunch prep guy, the brunch show chef guy. I did that for years. I worked at a Cracker Barrel.
What an interesting life you lead.
This is such a weird thing with you. I just drop a weird non sequitur one-liner, and it actually leads to something. Oh yeah, that actually was a thing.
I mean, next we could say professional skydiver. For all we know, Dusty is. So.
Well, I've never jumped out of a very good plane, but I was a ranch hand and a bodyguard for Mercedes Lackey and Larry Dixon, the science fiction writers. I did that for 5 years. I went to Motorcycle Mechanics Institute, graduated top of my class in Harley Davidson, worked at 3 Harley Davidson dealerships before I worked at a company called Custom Chrome in the research and development department, making all the parts that people use on custom motorcycles. So all those guys you saw in Monster Garage or all the chopper build-offs, I worked with all those idiots back in the day. Built 3-4 custom motorcycles. One ended up on the cover of Easy Riders 4 or 5 years ago. I still do custom motorcycle stuff with a friend of mine here in San Jose when I get a chance. I build things. I'm a maker. I've built guitars. I built Sunset Chimmer's guitar. I built these little cigar box guitars.
Sometimes putting your blood into the work.
Yes. Blood, sweat, and tears.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Okay, let's scroll up where it says there.
Yes.
Better
Right.
like this.
Yeah.
We put a bandage on it. You're welcome.
Yes, before the binge. And now I do CNC machine technology, where I do design and programming on programs like SolidWorks and Mastercam, and having a very fun time doing that because I get to be a maker every day and get paid for it. Cool stuff.
I know it usually isn't an interview cast, but I just want to hear. Dusty's life is so much more interesting than ours. I just want to hear him talk.
It's true.
Well, when I actually moved out here in '99 from Tulsa, Oklahoma, I couldn't find a job. It was okay. I couldn't find a job. But I'm from Michigan, so I went ice skating a lot. There's a local rink here in San Jose, in the Valco Fashion Mall. And there was me and the guy who was running the place. He was a motorcyclist. I'm a motorcyclist. We started talking motorcycles. And when I dropped that I was a mechanic, he says, "Hey, you think you could fix a Zamboni?" It's like, I don't know. Show it to me. So I go in there, and it's basically an overgrown golf cart with a blade on it. It's like, yeah, I could fix this. He goes, "Okay, you're hired." It's like, what?
That was
It's like, I need a night manager who can fix this thing, and I need a guy, and you need a job. You're hired. He hired me on the spot. So as a night manager at an ice rink when I first moved here, because I could fix the Zamboni, and I got to cut ice with a Zamboni, which is kind of cool. And that got me into the job at Custom Chrome, making parts. So
You remind me so much of my dad. Just weird little blips of adventures in your life.
Oh yeah.
I found your audiobooks.
Yeah. We'll put the audiobook links in the description if you people have Audible.
And I found a different man playing the same guitar that you are playing right now.
Yes, that would be Mr.
It's
Ingram.
Mr. Daniel.
Yes, that was specifically made for him. I was at Everfree Northwest last year, and I had this guitar with me. And he actually got to play it a little bit. He said, "This is really nice. It plays really well. In fact, I'm surprised at how nice it is." And I said, "Hey, if you want one, all you." He goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, I'll make you one." He says, "Okay." So I go home. I start building it for him. I said, "Hey, what scene do you want on it?" You know, because I do the different Pear Family or Apple Family or whatever. And he said, "Hey, I'd love to have my favorite song is, of course, You'll Play Your Part from that episode." I said, "Cool." So I got with my good buddy Baron Engel, and I said, "Hey, let's come up with this art." First, I went to Flutter Spartan, and she came up with the basic idea. But the art didn't feel right to me, so I paid her for her work, and I said, "Okay." I went to Baron. I said, "Baron, what do you think?" And he came up with this different design for it, which I fell in love with. So
When in doubt, go to Baron.
When in doubt, go to Baron. And he it got lasered and brought back to me. I put the whole thing together and got a case for it. Flew up to Van Hoover last month, and then saw Daniel and gave it to him at that time. Yeah, so he's in love with it. He played it for like 48 straight hours, from what he told me.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
But enough
so
of what you've done in the past. Let's talk about what you've done in the past week. What's been going on in your life?
For the past week. Okay, so very busy at work. It's amazing that quarter-inch plate aluminum was very scarce on the West Coast, and we needed it. So it finally showed up on Thursday, so we're behind the 8 ball, and I just worked 8 hours straight on my feet, making things that I designed that needed to go to anodizing, which takes a week, and then has to get delivered by the end of the month. So finally behind the 8 ball. Cut myself a couple times. Still working on a new cigar box guitar, which is going to premiere at BabsCon coming up in April. Yes, I designed a couple of brass parts and cut them on the CNC machine for that particular guitar, which is a new skill for me, is designing actual guitar. And let's see, what else did I do this week? Pretty much.
You said you had a crazy D&D session.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, crazy D&D session last night. So we had been running one scenario for a couple of years, and we finally got down to the plot point. Took out the bad guy. My roommate Lance, who was our D&D dungeon master, said he wanted to take a break. So one of the other players said, "I'll DM a scenario." So he came up with something. So we're playing that new scenario. And so in the middle of last night, we're in the keep, and we're downstairs. We've been doing some investigation on a couple of floors of the keep. We're downstairs in the Great Hall about to have dinner, and we hear something upstairs. So my character, a great big tiger liane, runs with his glaive, and they follow me up, and up here, and there's floating crossbows, right, which are protection, and they don't know who we are, so we have to kill a couple of those. Chase. Within 15 minutes, during this chase, 3 times I roll a 1.
Ooh.
3 stinking times. One is I'm trying to go down 3 stories on a rope, so the rope is going through my paws. Take damage. Run across the field. Go down these stairs, roll a 1, fall down the stairs.
This sounds like a cartoon.
Yes, there's a trap door. Go to hit it with my glaive to knock it open. Roll a 1. Glaive gets stuck in the wood. Finally,
It was not your day.
It was not my day. So we end up catching this human who basically got in her own trap. She's hanging upside down, and I'm panting. I'm going, really? You caught yourself? Whatever. So we take her back. Our druid had turned himself into a giant spider, right? So wrapped her up in spider silk, and we take her back to interrogate her. But yeah, three 1s in 15 minutes. It was like, I'm gonna throw that die in the river. Boom! I don't want you anymore.
I like your little end of stories.
Reminds me of a D&D, not a D&D, but Black Eye, which is basically German D&D clone session once, where a guy from an area that is like musketeer kind of themed wanted to show off with his rapier. With his rapier, went up against a tree just to do a few elegant swipes at the tree. Also,
I see where it's going.
Also, rolled. Ironically, in D&D, the high numbers are the bad numbers. So he rolled a 20, which is a bad thing in das Schwarze Auge, Black Eye. So basically, he rolled a 20, which in the rules of Black Eye means you now need to roll with a disaster die, basically, and see how bad it is. And then he rolled the worst number, which then means huge self-injury. And we are there. Okay, so he tried to do a few slices against a tree and kind of manages to pierce himself.
Oh, God.
He survived, but it reminded me of that a little bit.
Look, I've been impaled.
Yeah. Oh, look, I've been.
Nothing's gonna beat that story you told me though of like, you guys had a session and there was a guy with a suit of armor who decides to jump off the boat and he somehow rolls good enough that he could he could swim with a suit of metal armor.
Yeah. He swam with a suit of metal armor and was like, "Are you what?" We're sitting there going,
the most embarrassing one I think I've had was when we did Curse of Strahd with Josh, and my character, she's a bard, so her only weapon is a dagger. Yeah. And my character was supposed to run up angrily and stab a woman, and the thing is, I rolled a 3, so Josh was silent for a minute, and he was like, "You trip on the rope of the tent, take 2 damage."
Yep.
So it was just kind of like, ha. Which
speaking of D&D,
it's a bard, I guess. That's a great bard way to injure yourself.
Yes. Both of my nephews, my little brother's boys, one is in college right now, one's a senior in high school, and they both play D&D. So the other day, my phone goes off. My nephew, who's in college, Tanner, says, "How much is one of your guitars?" Just out of the blue. And I went, your family, I'm sure we'll work it out. Why? He's like, "Oh, well, I'm going to play a bard next year, and I have to have an instrument." So he wants me to build him a guitar.
Great.
Oh, that's commitment.
So that he can have a guitar during his D&D session. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll build you one, not a problem." So
that's cute. Yeah. I should get a clarinet the next time I play D&D. That won't get annoying over a microphone, I'm sure of it.
No. We actually have...
Because the best part about playing a clarinet, the best part of being affluent in playing a woodwind, because for people who don't know, I'm actually a professionally trained clarinet player. I played for 15 years. I started playing clarinet in like 1st grade. And I actually am like award-winning, going to state competitions, playing it, composing my own music, all that stuff. You wouldn't know. But the best part about knowing how to play a clarinet well is that you also know how to play it badly.
Yes.
So, because a woodwind, it's very easy to make it sound like shit because it's a reed. So you have to like pinch your lips like right at the top to get proper air control. But if you decide to just deep throat the reed, it just comes out sounding like a dying goose.
Nice.
We had a moment in one of our songs back in the day.
What I want to know? You know what I want? You know what I want right now? I want you to do an original song, an original pony song, and call yourself some version of Zamfir, right, on clarinet.
Ooh.
So basically, basically you do this Zamfir big soundscape clarinet solo pony song. That's what I want to see from you. I want to see that.
I just need to end it though. If I'm going to do that, I have to end it with
with a honk.
With a honk. But no, it's just kind of like because we had one thing where we were teaching the younger classes how to play it, like in high school, because our school was a K through 12, and I was the clarinet person because I was first chair for both normal clarinet and bass clarinet. Mm-hmm. And what I did is that I went up to him being like, this is how you properly play clarinet, played the scale, all that stuff. This is how you play it in a way that will make our teacher mad. And then I said, repeat after me! And all the clarinets, because we had like 5 clarinet players, just all went, ha! And I've never seen my band teacher, I think her name was like Miss Polero, more angry at me her entire life. Because the thing was, the students were happy to do that. Yes. They were kind of like, you know, how instrument players are when they're first learning the buttons. They're just like, But just telling a child to make a loud noise, it's like telling them they're going to a candy store.
Oh, no,
it's like, I get to use my basic instincts.
I just noticed that I still don't have D-Wiff classes in OBS.
Though there is no instrument more amazing and annoying than a trumpet.
Learning trumpet, yeah.
I will not get it out. Don't.
I know you won't get it out, but I'm just saying, every trumpet player I've ever met has been either really charismatic or really annoying.
I know, I'm the latter.
Sometimes there's both. But anyways, if that was all of Dusty's stories, you.
Me? Oh my!
You!
What happened to me this week? Let's see. Let's start with something wider, ranging from work. So, about a year ago, I was like at work, like considering options and stuff, and my and Bart came in and was like, "Dude, here, how about?" They gave me a good interest in reconsidering my options. Among them was also basically, hey, how about a nice new title, like which obviously was I know, right? It came with other benefits, but yeah, there was also like in the offer was like title like senior administrator. Ooh. I know, but back in the day I was like, I don't really feel like a senior level and whatnot. I mean, in the meantime, Yuri and Bart cleared my head on it and were like, dude, a not senior admin is one who can move a field from left to right, and that's like their daily achievement. You build flows and workflows and whatnot. You are a senior level. Oh, okay.
You also have the senior level of annoyance with how many times you've had to fix a flowchart and you going like, like that new meme of the guy with the tiny hands just going, oh my fucking god. Like,
basically. But yeah, so the thing was, last week or something, I came across my entry in the official HR tool, and I'm like, hey Bart, in here I'm still like normal admin level, not really meaning anything. It's like, oh yeah, I talked to HR about it, they just fix it. I mean, we talked about it like a year ago. He basically comes back and is like, yeah, so you are now part of the official promotion program. Expect to be called upon in front of the entire company. We make it an official promotion thing. And I'm like, okay, fine.
Okay.
Okay, and the fun thing was that just the week before, we celebrated my 6-year anniversary with the company.
Woohoo!
So just the week before, Bart was standing for breakfast, for a company breakfast on Wednesday, was standing in front of everybody and like, hey, Max, 6 years, yay, great guy. A week later, hi, you guys, and our team currently is only Bart and me, since our third colleague is now on parental leave. So Bart just gets up in front of the entire company, it's like, in the context of promotions, and he is like, hey, you will never guess for who am I going to talk about. I am basically his personal promoter by now. Max, come up here.
The thing is, I don't know if that's like, knowing you, there's two ways. You're either like, eh, or you're like,
Nah, I'm mostly just coming up there like, not much of banter, because we had a very tight breakfast. We have like half an hour and a lot of topics. And there were like 6 people who got official promotions, and so we didn't have stuff for a lot of goofing around. But yeah, so I got officially promoted this week.
good for you.
I mean, mostly on pay. Oh, I also get a promotion lunch with the CEO and the other 5 promotees in a week or so.
Ooh.
Yeah, for my anniversary, our CEO took me to a stand imbis around the corner, like outside in the cold.
No.
I mean, in his
Happy
in his,
6th anniversary.
Basically, we had
Enjoy hypothermia.
Exactly. We had fun talking about it. The thing behind that was actually that for the original appointment, I still was on vacation. He set an official bigger lunch up with another colleague already, but I wasn't available, so it was a replacement thing. And he actually set it up as small lunch. And small business. And the thing was that we went actually this small kiosk that was we went through. The stand imbis was is a customer of ours who is currently testing a brand new product. So there was some meaning behind it. It was not complete. Exactly, complete cheaping me off. No, and besides that, yesterday was a day where this person here in the chat, now she's moving up, was part of one day. Oh boy! So after 2 weeks, we finally managed to finish Denim's wardrobe. Yeah, it only took us 2 weeks to finish a wardrobe, and I'm not talking about like you, Dusty, actually building a wardrobe. I'm talking about IKEA.
Oh my God, really?
No,
2 weeks to put an IKEA wardrobe together?
No. Okay, in my defense, I put it completely together the day after we bought it, but we had one bottom layer, like a shelf which we had bought. Which had a glass, what was basically glass in a frame. And there were like smudges on the glass, and not just some fingerprints, but some industrial stuff we couldn't wash off, probably the glue with which the glass was in the frame. And we were like, yeah, this is super annoying, especially since it's glass. We need to replace this. And we also discovered, so while I was putting the wardrobe together, I put together the first drawer, I put the drawer in it, and I was like, this doesn't look like 3 drawers. We bought 3 drawers. This doesn't look like 3. This looks more like 4. Denim's reply, yeah, I basically thought the same in the shop, but I didn't want to say anything. Come on! Call me out when I'm wrong, please. I'm wrong half the time. I need people telling me that I'm wrong.
That standing story, that standing outside story. I got one that's sort of like that. So a few years ago, before I got this job, and I was living my life as the manliest brewer in the world and going to conventions, I had all this time, and a buddy of mine says, "Hey, I just found these really cheap tickets to Japan. You want to go?" It's like, okay. So we went to Japan, and the last night we're there. Well, the night before the last night we're there. We're in Akihabara, and we're in this businessman's hotel in Akihabara, and I'm like, I'm starving. I'm like really hungry. I know we're leaving like in the next day. I've got like all this yen I need to spend, right? And I'm going, okay, I'm gonna go out and get a steak because we're like right in this area of Tokyo where there's all these steak restaurants. I'm going, okay, I'm gonna go get a steak. So I go downstairs, leave my buddy in the hotel, and I'm walking across the street, and there's this stand-up, not an izakaya, but basically it's the place you go just to get a steak, right? There's no seating; it's all standing. So you go in there, and there's all this raw meat, and they go, okay, how much do you want? What do you mean, how much do I want? How big a steak do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Because they sell it by the ounce. It's like, oh, okay. So I took like 5,000 yen, stuck it on the counters, and that much. They went, really? So yeah, that much. So he goes, bonk, and I got this steak about this freaking big. I'm like, oh, standing there eating my steak in Japan. It was amazing. Garlic sauce, the whole thing. It was amazing.
But yeah.
What is it my turn?
No, not yet. You can catch your breath for one. But no. But yeah, after 2 weeks we managed to finalize an IKEA wardrobe. After that, we went phone shopping, which is also fun for everybody who ever needed to get a new phone contract and stuff, like comparing all the wall. We actually intended to go for Harley Quinn. I refuse calling this movie Birds of Prey because everything around it looks like it's a Harley Quinn movie. So we wanted to go
Don't
there.
get me started on Birds of Prey. I have a rant about that movie, and I don't...
Have not seen it.
I know. That's why I'm not talking about it this week.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Uh-oh. You have seen it?
Ooh. I have very strong opinions about Harley Quinn.
Uh-huh.
I have very strong opinions about Black Canary.
Uh-huh.
Thus, I have very strong opinions about this movie.
Uh-huh.
But yeah.
Fair. But yeah, we miss... Apparently. But yeah, we missed seeing it because we were like still in the city getting more stuff for kitchen because apparently I did not own a measuring cup or a scale in my kitchen. I was so sure I had them, but in my 6 years here in Berlin, I never needed either of them, so I never noticed that I don't own them.
A man who cannot cook for himself is not a man.
I mean, I can cook for myself, but apparently without a measuring cup or
that little palm of your hand, that's all you need.
Exactly. That's the spirit. But yeah, so we were like, feet were hurting basically yesterday. We were like, oh, feet are hurting. And we were like, okay, let's just get grocery right here in the city and just drive home. Don't stress about cinema. We are too late anyways. Just get home and then don't use the feet at all anymore. Just drop on the PC, on the chair, on the PC, or on the sofa, wherever. Just no more pain for the feet. No more pain. But yeah, so that was my yesterday, and with that, I take the imaginary talk ball and pass it on to Keyframe.
Hi. How you doing?
You didn't catch the ball.
I just had the worst dip in energy in the past 5 seconds. Oh. We're just going to say a bunch of energy just left my soul and leave it at that. No, so I actually messaged Max earlier being like, I'm trying to figure out what did I do this week. I have no memory. I don't think I did anything. But luckily in the last second I was like, wait, I streamed twice this week because I got back into streaming. So I actually do. And then I also remember different anecdotes because I'm slowly becoming the Krendor of this podcast in that I do the same 3 things every week. Except this podcast slowly becomes 2 Krendors and then someone comes in. But,
What? I don't know what you mean. My life is excitement. I went to an IKEA, just like Krendor does frequently.
The other thing I did this week is I finally figured out a reason to buy a Nintendo Switch.
Oh.
Because I'd been putting it off. It's like, I don't like any of these games, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, I saw a friend of mine Twitch streaming himself playing Ring Fit Adventure. Mm-hmm. And I went, wow, this looks like fun. I was like, okay, I'll go buy a Switch and I'll go buy the game because I needed something to mix up my exercise routine because it was getting stale. It's like, okay, cool. I need something to get my exercise juices flowing again. So I go buy the thing, set it up, put it up on my TV, and I immediately start playing this game. And I've played it for 4 days now. And it was like, I'm like on the final boss of World 4. And yesterday I couldn't play it because I've been playing it so much, my knees and my ankles hurt. Because you have to run in place all the time. So you're always running in place, getting to places, and then you fight these monsters by doing things with the ring fit. And it's like, it's really fun. It really is really cool. I mean, it's like what Wii Fit wanted to be, but couldn't figure it out. So it's really a fun game. It's really a fun thing. If you're into exercise and you have a Switch, I highly suggest getting it. And just on the 4th day, I actually played it for almost 2 hours straight. And according to my heart rate monitor, I had burned 1,200 calories.
Okay.
Yeah, it was intense. It was like, okay, cool. This is great. This is awesome. Now I can do my yoga and I can do the ring fit thing. I can do my walking. And I've already lost like 3 pounds this week. It's like, yeah, this is working. So if you're in it for...
Anyways, about my week.
Oh, burn.
Yeah, so among my week, like me and Max continued our adventures in trying to finish the endless list of shows. The world today is filled with too much good content. People need to start making bad stuff.
But then you want to watch
because
it because it's bad.
No, it's just the thing of Katt trying to watch all of it. But like we caught up on Tangled again, and finished watching Miraculous Ladybug until the next season comes out, whenever it does. So that's all. That was all fine and dandy. Then I streamed Monster Prom the other day with Will Ryan and Chris and all this stuff. And oh my god, it's not my media, but I do really like this game. I really recommend people get it. And it's the characters are funny. I try to court my ghost girl Polly, the one that I've cosplayed as before. I try to win her heart, her drug-fueled heart, because she is a total party girl, does all the drugs, all that stuff. Nice. And then when I asked her,
she
was like,
got new outfits. It's her, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a dating sim. They all get different outfits throughout the game.
I played it on Gaming in Ties, but they have updated the game very much. I played it.
Yes, they constantly update it and give it DLC. Yeah. But I tried to ask her, will you go to prom with me? And she was like, no way in hell. And I was like, oh. I think I don't think a stream has ever heard me more genuinely sad than that. The others in the stream had to like beg for me not to play the game again on stream because I really wanted, but like, it was like a fucking limbo because I would make the wrong choice and then the next screen I would make the right choice because they bait and switch you by being like, oh, she's crazy, so pick the crazy option. And then suddenly when I shoot bees out of my mouth, that's suddenly not a good thing. But I do plan on playing it again, especially since there's a board game option. So I definitely want to play it again. I'll probably go for the vampire hipster next time, just because I want all of them. But
you want to be the very best, like no one ever was?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then besides that, I've been going to the gym this week, so there's the fun adventures of Keyframe at the gym, which is, because I've been trying to get even more strong, and I work out for like 2 hours a day, and I do full body workout and all that stuff. But usually when I go, the trainer that's at that gym isn't there. And I used to go during the early day, but I then started going at night, so the classes were over. So I went one day, and the trainer saw me and was like, hey, Christine! It's like, oh, hey, Mark, how you doing? And he's like, oh, you wanted to come into the class? We're just starting. Oh, why not? I picked the wrong class to go into. My poor abdominal area was just like, I have seen the
Ow.
face of God, and he's not happy with me. Like, cause like, it was, little did I know, it was one of his advanced classes, which I'm fine with. I do a lot of core exercise anyway, cause I want a washboard as my torso. But, like, it was just kind of like, and he kept making snide remarks at me, and I'm just like, never wanted to murder a man more in my life. Don't make me gain muscle because it'll make it easier to kill you. But I think I told Max this one. It was like we did a second class, which is like a high interval training class. So you're doing a bunch of exercises for a minute for 3 rounds, that kind of stuff. And we finished our last one. And the last one that I had to do was a wall sit, and I had a medicine ball, and I had to keep doing this. So, you know, both things were activated. Right. And we finished, and I threw the ball on the ground and just went, ah! And of course, that's the moment that the entire fucking gym decides to be quiet. Right. So I saw people on their treadmills look over, and I'm like,
well,
yeah, it was me.
I waved. Like, how are you supposed to respond? Do you just walk away? People are staring. Do I scream again? Like,
you slide down the wall, then you lean over and you curl up on the floor, and then you cry, pretty much.
Sounds reasonable.
I mean, I've done that before in other scenarios, but I don't think the gym is the appropriate place. But no, besides that, I also did like an art stream yesterday because I do sketch streams where people give me money and I sketch for 20 minutes and all that stuff. And I decided I'm going to do it at 4:30 because that way I'll have the rest of the day.
Wow, little did you know.
It ended at 12:20 in the morning because people decided to all give the commissions at one go, and all of them wanted full body ones.
Oh,
and it was like they look good. They're good sketches, but I'm proud of myself for them. But at the end of the stream, like my friends were just asking, "How do you feel?" And I think like in my dissolved mindset, I was like, I feel like what it probably feels to pour Coca-Cola on a car battery. Like, it was just I was so tired. I just kind of, I went out into the living room. Brett was like, "Oh, you're done with your stream?" I went to the kitchen, grabbed water, walked like this to the bedroom, took one sip, put the glass down, and passed out. Like,
I cannot see how this is exhausting. You just scribbled a few things on your computer screen. There is no real effort required. No, effort would be the
Let me look at that countdown clock to when you visit that I have bookmarked on my thing. Oh, look! 27 days.
27
Do you want to continue saying those words?
27 days till murder.
Till homicide. But, like, but no, like, fucking... The only other notable thing is that it's a good thing that I've been working out because I need to get out frustration because of another adventure in Key's health journey is my doctor prescribed me new medication, and because I still take the previous 2, but they were like, I was telling them, oh, the bus bar works great, but it makes me really tired. So they gave me one to try to combat the tiredness. The thing is, because, you know, when you give fucking medication that messes with the serotonin and all those nice little synapses in your brain thinks something is invading you. So it fights back. And the thing that the side effect, mostly besides being kind of jittery, which is why I need to do things with my hands so much more, is irritability. Why are humans so annoying? I know that it's not their fault. It's mine. Cause I know this is just me being irritable. But I had like so many moments this week where I'm just like, if I had you in a dark alleyway I don't think you'd come out unscathed. But, I mean, I didn't say it. I thought it. But, like, which is why the gym was so good, because you can get all that energy. Just like,
You know what you need, Key? You know what you need?
What? A chill pill? Like...
meditation.
Oh, yeah. I've used some meditation tracks. I just haven't thought to do it this week because I've been listening to an audiobook.
Oh boy, does this sound like a segue to me?
Maybe.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so Enigma, good news, I have an audiobook this time. It's actually one that I talked about getting a few weeks ago. But I had to wait until my Audible free Audible credit kicked in because the book by itself is like $37 or 1 Audible credit, which is fantastic. But yeah,
yet.
I'm talking about the book Console Wars, which is such an interesting read or listen in this case, which is detailing the console wars between Nintendo and Sega. Because, like, I mean, we all know the basic story. Nintendo and Sega, Mario versus Sonic, eventually Sega disbands as a hardware-making company, only making software, eventually being absorbed by Nintendo. But there's so much other history behind it, because Nintendo is a monopoly. Back in those days, it was basically a monopoly. And in many ways, like, both in negative and positive, it has caused a lot of historical influence towards other things. The whole reason we have the PlayStation consoles is because Nintendo fucked over Square Enix, because Square was developing a disc drive for a Nintendo console, but they were like, oh, we don't want the disc add-on anymore, which was during the time of the N64. So they used that disc and made the PlayStation. But, like, there's stuff like that. But Sega, their old history is a fucking roller coaster. With a lot of, like, backdoor deals and, like, the guy who made Sega didn't know jack diddly about video game or video game development, but he knew marketing. And I think that's, like, I mean, most people who grew up during the console wars, or was at least knowledgeable in that, Sega had the most intense marketing around. I mean, you know, Sega does what Nintendo don't, and blast processing and all that bullshit. And the book is just so interesting, going into both histories and how they collide, and it's such an interesting topic. And I know a lot of people would find the history of console sounds like it's not really an interesting topic, but if you enjoy video games and you grew up with the classic stuff, it's fascinating. And it's a pretty long listen to. I think it says 10 hours. Like, it's a monster of a book because it's detailing basically the majority of the late 80s, early 90s.
You said 10 hours?
No, I've listened to 10 hours of it.
Oh, okay.
But no, isn't it like...
20 hours and 41 minutes.
Yeah, it's basically a day's listen if you just sat down in a dark room and just did that the entire time.
And only sleep for 3 hours.
Is that really outside of my realm of possibility? Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
but...
Speaking of console wars, my console wars were Atari 2600 versus ColecoVision.
That's a
was a
sad
thing.
fight.
I'm
just
It was
saying.
a sad fight. It was a sad fight, but that's all we had back then. It's like my buddy had gotten a ColecoVision and I had an Atari, and you couldn't. It's like I'd go over to his house and we'd play that thing, and we couldn't figure out which one was better.
I love the Angry Video Game Nerd episode about, like, Coleco and like, Double Vision and all that stuff, and just talking about the giant adapt AC things to plug them in that are, like, takes up, like, half of a power strip.
Oh yeah, they were like gigantic. I've always when I pick a game system my entire life, I've always picked the wrong one. Like when I was growing up, I got Atari 2600. when the ColecoVision was the next thing, right? And then I got an N64. That was okay. Then I got an Xbox when PlayStation 2 was the big thing. And then all of a sudden, it's like every time I picked a system, the new system came out. And I was like behind the curve every stinking time. I had a Genesis when everybody was playing Nintendo. It was like, damn it.
Yeah, I was kind of the person, like, my whole console thing is that I kind of, if I found a console I liked, I would ignore every other console. So I had a SNES for a while, and then I had a PlayStation 1, and then once GameCube came out, I think I didn't play a Wii game until maybe 2013, 14. Like, I just didn't care about the Wii. I only wanted to play GameCube. And the thing was, because the Wii was reverse compatible, I basically only used the Wii to play GameCube games. But, no, I really recommend this book. It's so good. And I think, like, the big thing that I love about it is that it heightens the necessary competition for technological advances. Because if it wasn't for these console wars, from what I've read and heard so far, we wouldn't have the video game development from Nintendo and for basically every console if it wasn't for this particular console war. Just like how if we didn't have Nintendo happen at all, we would have been just stuck in the dark ages of video games, because it was Nintendo that got us out of the dark age after, Atari crashed. So I really recommend. It's a good pickup if you like nonfiction material. It's really good. If you're not a fan of like history and all that stuff, if you're just kind of like, I just want to read fiction. I nothing interests me unless there's high fantasy or sci-fi lasers. You're not going to get stuff out of this book. But if you are interested in how things came to be in our current video game society, this is so good.
Well, it's on my wish list for sure. So
hooray!
Hooray!
But yeah, so that's my media. Dusty, your media is something I think you also involves a little bit of self-bias. Your Thatch and Dial.
Yes. So I want more people to see this, because back in November 28th of last year, finally, Mando Pony had released Chapter 1 of the Thatch and Dial project, which we'd been working on for years. So it hasn't gotten a ton of traction. I'd like to see it more, because it's a very fun story with very cool characters. And it just introduces you to the characters and what's going to happen. So it's the first part of a three-part arc. So I want more people to go see it and enjoy it and spread the word that, this is still coming. It's still being worked on. And I think it's going to be bigger than it is right now. I think it's going to be pretty. I love playing the character. I want to play it more. So I want people to go see this thing and enjoy it. And so it gives us more of a reason to make more of it. So Thatch and Dial sort of storyboard style of animation. Go check that out, please. I really like it. Another announcement that I have to make is that the book series I've been narrating, I've had to drop out of. So I've had to tell the author that I can't do it anymore. Basically because my job has gotten really, 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 really busy. So I haven't had time to do any audio recording for a book, because doing an audio recording for a book is a months-long process. Especially when you put in hours an evening doing it when you have a regular job. So I'd get home from my regular job after doing 10, 12-hour days and just going, I just don't have it. I don't have time. I don't have the voice to do it. I'm tired.
Yeah,
I just have
energy. Yeah.
Yes, or the energy. So I've just had to tell him, I'm sorry, I have to drop out. I just can't do it right now. And he's gonna go find another narrator, or just stop having that book narrated, because I guess even with me doing it, the sales weren't really great.
Too bad.
Yeah, it was too bad, because it's a fun series. So I read the next book, which is fairly fun, but I just couldn't find the time to get going on it, so I've had to drop out of that series. Still doing the book narration, or excuse me, the radio play narration for the Untip, where I'm a main character and the narrator. They keep saying that it's coming out soon, episode 2. It's like, come on, guys, I know it's an hour and a half long thing, but you've been working on this thing for almost a year. Get it out. So still waiting on that. But now I'm open for character stuff, for animations and things like that, because I'm not doing a book anymore. So I'm trying to get the word out there that if you need characters, voices, or things like that, I do have a voice reel on my YouTube. Check it out. So I'm sort of available for that kind of so if you have a character you need in a little animation or anything you need, hit me up. Still preparing for BabsCon coming up. I'm hoping a few more people will sign up for the Lunchbox guitar building class. I think we have 3 right now. I'd like to have it 5. So need a couple more people for that. And then I can start gathering materials and teaching people how to make happy little go-lucky things.
Is the artwork for Fatch and Dial is done by Orlando, right?
No, it's done by Erin Mindendorf.
Ah.
Yes. Erin is a wonderful artist. I've known her for years. From the furry fandom side of it, she does wonderful pottery, which she sells at conventions. I knew Erin before I knew Mando Pony. So Mando went to her and was like, hey, we know each other. Yeah, it's sort of a neat little thing. It's really amazing that Thatch and Dial has gotten to the point it is, because Mando basically fleshed this whole thing out in a couple of hours in their basement up in Vancouver, 5 years ago.
Oh my!
Just to say, because he asked me, it's like, I love these characters. What can we do with them? And because I've been in the SCA and I like the old times, all kinds of stuff. So, what about this? And I just had this full arc of the story from beginning to end. And that's great. And he starts writing stuff down. We start banging stuff against each other and ideas. And that's basically how these kind of things start. And he just rolled with it. And it's really cool. I didn't hear from him for a couple of, like a year or so. After we did the small little thing at the beginning. And then I'm on a motorcycle trip in New Zealand with some friends of mine, and all of a sudden my phone goes off and said, hey, I'm sending you a 100-page script like tomorrow. And I'm not even on that side of the world, dude. Like, now you send me something awesome. So yeah, it was,
I know the suffering of having to deal with someone who's in an extremely different time zone.
Yeah, well, that was a fun recording session, because I built a sound booth in the house here, and I had Mando and Peter New, who sort of did the voice directing on this project, Skype in, and we're in my ear while I'm doing my line, and I had
I
Mando.
remember you told me at the airport how like you started to get so angry.
Oh yeah, there's this one scene where I had to be very, very emotional, and Peter kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me on, and I basically was screaming at the microphone. And he said, "That's perfect. Do you need a minute?" I was like, "Yeah, I need some time." So, okay, everybody take a break. Come back in 10. And I ended up doing, that was a 5.5 hour session.
Oh my!
To get all of the lines done. But it was some of it's, as a voice actor, it was more educational than actually going like to on the mic training up in Vancouver or some other thing. Actually doing it with a voice director taught me more than everything I had learned up to that. Peter just basically in not giving me an inch, not letting me get away with anything, and pushing me, made me grow as an actor like you wouldn't believe. I mean, I was so much better on everything I did past that point, and I keep looking for that next experience to push my talent as a voice actor further, and it's really cool when that.
Well, thank you, Peter New, for that experience.
Yes, thank you. I thank him every time I see him, basically.
Buddy.
And yeah.
Moving
now
on to
it's
the
Max's turn.
Well, with audiobooks already taken care of, I have something else this week.
Yay!
I kept Netflixing it up and down, and once, like with Kipo before, it was just something that Netflix kept throwing at us, and I was like, that looks interesting enough. Okay, checking it out, and what it is a show called Scissor 7, which, as you can already tell, has a very
I
crude
love this show.
animation style. Yeah, and it's like I would describe the animation style in my complete arrogance that I have as something like that could maybe come out of Trigger when they have their cheaper budget moments, or Fully Cooley, unless Fully Cooley is by Trigger, then I have just said a redundant statement. But yeah, they have this kind of pencil-y animation, as you see, but also from the wild and energetic animations and the craziness in moments like these. It's a very it's an experience to watch in general. You see, it's very anime, even though it's out of China, so it has this over the topness of it, and it
has a very Chinese anime style.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Chinese animation usually goes for the more weirdly kind of more European based art style, because the thing was, when I first saw this, I honestly thought it was a French production, because the French also likes this art style, because Motherfuckers is on Netflix right now, which if I remember correctly, is like a French-Italian production. But yeah, this.
But yeah, it has insane humor, as maybe some of the clips already showed you. Okay, I don't need that, but it's like following this dude, whose name is Seven, who just decides to become a professional killer. And he's like, okay, I'm a killer now. I'm going out, and he takes, like, for just a handful of bucks, takes commissions to murder people. But he's also a little bit too much of a good guy, so he kind of doesn't. I don't want to spoiler, but
he kind of, to give the best vibe about him, he's kind of like if you actually fused like Light with L, in kind of good but amoral kind of thing.
You have the feeling he's completely not casual about, okay, I'm going to kill you now, but he kind of. I have an echo now. God damn it! Why do I have an echo?
You don't sound echoing to me.
No, not to us.
But yeah. For some reason, he has, even so he's like completely amoral about the killing. He still ends up being kind of defending people. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it, but it's like it keeps happening, and. And it has a weird cast, but it's and sometimes some episodes have a complete emotional backlash where you just see one of those over the top, completely ridiculous fight scenes, and then a few minutes later you get a complete an emotional scene, and you're sitting there like, oh shit! This show just touched my heart! How? There was a guy who just a moment ago got dragged by his pants by a bird flying away, and now I have a heart moment, and I'm like, oh god, no! It's like a roller coaster, but one that I can only recommend. It's fun, it's insane, so probably this would be a red flag if you are really into more grounded stuff. This show will not sit well with you at all.
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of implied when you say that it's very Trigger-like. So
yes.
if you're let's just say this: if you're not someone who's into Fully Cooley or Panty and Stocking and the kind of boisterous humor, it's not gonna be your cup of tea.
Yeah. But yeah, I had an absolute blast.
What about Cowboy Bebop style?
Completely. I mean, you
like in the way
not
of like
comparable at all.
as that is an example of someone not caring for it, or
Yeah. If you like Cowboy Bebop, you wouldn't like this.
I don't want to say
yeah,
that. I like
Cowboy Bebop is a lot more
realistic,
kind of witty in how it goes about humor.
It doesn't go off model. It has very strict models, while this one has those kind of blown proportions and bending stuff all the time. It has a very.
It kind of has this. if you like Lupin, you're going to like this. If you like Cowboy Bebop,
What about people who like
it's a-
both? But yeah, there's also.
Then you'll like the show because you have a wider horizon of taste.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, it's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, definitely check it out. If it's not yours, if it's not your cup of tea, you haven't lost anything thanks to Netflix. Yeah, I personally, I had a blast. It was sometimes emotional. I was completely invested in it by the end, and I'm like waiting eagerly for season 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's time to answer questions.
For the Q&A. So since we have,
can you
Thank
look
you.
at Twitter or
I can look. I have Twitter. I can just
Okay.
not change the perspective and say it's in Discord because I am having you guys screen captured from here. But
Yeah, because Skype is borked for Dusty.
Yep.
Yes, Skype is borked, so I can't do the Skype thing.
Okay.
Sorry.
But, okay, it's okay. It's not the most convoluted setup we've ever done for this
I mean,
show.
okay, Twitter will probably be very quick on my end. One of them is somebody explicitly asking for spoiling stuff about TF2 Analysis Anarchy, and I guess
No.
even though we have never signed an NDA, we are not going to spoil anything in your
Because we don't want to
face.
be assholes.
Exactly. Even though it's like unimportant.
At least not to
bits.
the TF2 team. To,
Yeah.
to everyone else, we'll be assholes.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, then we have another question which we can probably all synonymously answer in one go, I would expect. Question from York is for all three. Would you rather never use social media sites, apps again, or never watch another movies or TV show?
Wait, does YouTube count as a social media?
Oh. That's a tricky one, but
Actually, you can't answer this question because social media is so ingrained in life itself nowadays
I mean,
that
let's...
you
yeah.
just can't be without it and still be up on news, up on what's going on in the world, being an informed human being. You can't be without it.
So much for the easy answer.
There is no easy answer to it.
No,
I mean,
but
yeah,
for
you
me-
could give up you could give up movies and Netflix and that stuff, but you can't give up social media and be an informed human being. You just can't.
Interestingly enough, I would have said like I would give up. I mean, if I have this excuse of a cosmic "would you rather" question, I would, in a heartbeat, give up social media because they are not healthy for most people. The informed aspect, I completely acknowledge it, but at the end of the day, they are doing a lot of bad for a lot of people. They are both two-sided edged sword. While I love TV shows and movies, so I wouldn't want to give them up.
See,
Yeah.
I think I would give up TV simply because the term of social media is so broad. Because if you go by the basic definition of social media, being because if you go by the Wikipedia, it's some application that causes people to come together in a sense of community. So, in theory, Discord and Skype are also social medias.
Yeah.
And I would rather be able to contact my friends because while social media like Twitter and Tumblr and shit can be a cesspool, it is because of those medias that I have met people like you and Max and a bunch of other people. And I would like to stay in contact with them because social media is so ingrained in the sense that it's also our way of communication with people around the world, which has brought certain negatives, but at the end of the day, I think the social media age of interconnecting people has more widespread pros than cons. And honestly, I think you and Max are more important than a TV show.
But Keyframe.
Back in the day, before the internet, when we had ARPANET, basically I got on a muck, right? A muck or a mush, which was basically text-based games, and it was the only way I could actually talk to my friends cross-country, across the world. And this is way before these things or that thing actually existed. I mean, World Wide Web didn't exist. web pages didn't exist. None of that stuff. So if you want to talk about all social media, you have to go all the way back to like the late 80s, mid 80s.
Probably
because
around the world.
Because on the page for social media's definition, the definition and classification of it includes 13 types of social media: blogs, business networks, collaborative projects, enterprise social networks, forums, microblogs, photo sharing, product services review, which is also a big thing. I feel like we are more knowledgeable of media because we have so much wider access to different people's points of view of it, like reviews and services, social bookmarking, social gaming, social networks, video sharing, which it would include YouTube, and virtual worlds. And I think the sense of community is better than the isolation that TV shows can have, because while TV shows and stuff can bring a sense of community in fandoms and stuff, it's without social networks, unless you're something as like ethereal as like Trekkies, which somehow caused that big like connection even pre-internet age, I just can't imagine a life where I can't be able to contact the people I care about. Did you not think about that?
No, I did not. I primarily thought about aspects like Twitter, Facebook, the Instagram, like the social media that are more pure in their social media aspect and are not intertwined with other aspects like video streaming.
That's why I think the question would have been easier if they picked the term social networking.
But yeah, one last attempt to change your mind, Keyframe. No more Scooby-Doo.
Technically, Scooby-Doo has comic books. They only said TV shows.
It's true.
It's true.
So you get to see this
sci-fi
Scooby-Doo
this is going to be the biggest
version.
compliment that I ever give you, Max. You are more important to me than Scooby-Doo.
Oh.
Oh my God! More important than Scrappy-Doo?
Gay. Okay, this question.
More important than Scooby, Scrappy, even Shaggy.
Okay, since this question did not turn out as short as possible, I guess. Yeah. To Discord, to the next one, to the Discord.
Oh, the chat's going on. Yeah, I made it. There's actually an animation that I'm working on that has Max in it, and I think his last talking line in it is, "Ew, you made it wholesome."
Yep.
I gave him the script to be like, you could change whatever lines you want. That was not a line he changed. Okay, so Discord questions. I'm gonna just say this to Wolfhead and Odie right now. I'm not going to acknowledge every single fucking Uno question that you guys brought into this fucking Q&A, because you guys asked like 5. I'm not giving you 5. But here's one from Desert Samurai JD. What is the most weird thing you've witnessed in a fast food restaurant? Oh, people watching is a great one.
Oh, I got one.
Oh, tell us. Dish.
Okay, so high school. This is early 80s. I had a friend of mine. His name was Darren, and we used to go out in the back property because we were in rural Michigan with BB guns, and we have BB gun wars long before paintball was a thing or even thought about. So we all had BB guns, and we would wear all the safety gear, safety thing, everything. But one BB got between there and took out his left eye. Ooh. So he had this fake eye for like 2 years in high school. So we all go down to the McDonald's for lunch, and we're sitting there eating, and I don't remember exactly why these girls were with us, but we're all around this big round table, and there's like 3 or 4 girls with us, and we're all eating lunch. And all of a sudden, he could squeeze his face one certain way, and his eye would pop out. So basically, he's sitting there eating his lunch, and basically his eye went boop, bop, 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 on the table. All the girls got up and screamed and ran. It was like,
evil.
You know he has a glass eye. Come on. What?
Oh, God, but that's a good one. Does it count if I caused the event?
Definitely.
Oh, well, then I have 2.
You only got 1. Pick wisely.
Okay, well, you know this one, Max. I think the most embarrassing thing, or that goes with weirdest, is us finding me, you, Brett, and Lauren searching frantically for the napkin that M.A. Larson wrote "fuck on" for us.
Oh yeah.
Because to give the basic story, because people have heard this before, we went to the ale house that's by the BronyCon Convention Center. Mm-hmm. With the most embarrassing Uber drive I've ever had. Easiest $7 that man ever made. And M.A. Larson was there, and he was signing a bunch of random stuff. He gave Max a signed piece of celery, and I was talking to Fole, and I said, man, I wish I could get a napkin that just says fuck written by M.A. Larson. That would make my day. And he was like, hold on a second, and they came back with Larson, who wrote fuck on the napkin and talked to us. He was really cool. Mitch is awesome. Yes. But like by the end of the dinner, we were like, where's the napkin? Where's the napkin? And everyone's like, oh shit, looking around. And then the waitress comes. And this poor waitress, she already had to deal with the fact that Lauren ordered crab cakes and Lauren got the last 2 crab cakes in the whole restaurant. Mm. She was like, do you guys need help with something? And I was like, do I say yes? In my head. But I was like, okay, so follow me on this. We're looking for a napkin that says fuck on it. Okay. We found it. It was like under the booth, and she walked away just in time so I could grab it and be like, we need to get out of here. So, nothing I have ever witnessed will ever beat that, because this person's have already probably had to deal with bronies for like 2.5 days.
Do you still have it, and is it finally framed on the wall?
Yes, let me go grab it.
Oh god.
No, I have to. I'm on the final clock for Dusty. Quick, give me an interesting fast food story that I can sell as my own. I can't
I need to get it framed, obviously.
I don't know the fast food. I don't know.
I've kept it in the living room so it stays safe, because nothing's safe in my little aura that I keep around myself.
Lower. Yeah, there we go.
Crazy.
Thank you, Mitch. This is my prized possession.
Oh,
I love it.
And I finally came up with a story. Oh, I actually might have a double audio. Oopsie, I just realized this. I might have an echo.
Did you accidentally hit a button in OBS or something?
Yes, I believe so. I'm glad that I only noticed this now halfway through the stream. Is it better now with the audio? Am I not doubling up anymore? I'm afraid I just...
We'll see, but anyway, tell your story.
Yes, so my story is about fast food place, like one of those American chains. There's this about a guy coming basically in, looking like starry-eyed, being all like, in this place, and he orders one of the standard menu. I believe it was a Taco Bell or something, and he orders one of those items from the menu, and you see him like with a nostalgic, like clary eyes, and starting to eat it, and then you see like.
Isn't this just your story of when we went to Taco Bell at Nightmare Nights?
Yes, I am the guy. I couldn't come up with something I witnessed, so I went with your tactic and made myself the subject of it.
I have a friend, his name is Axum, and he really wanted Taco Bell. I was just saying, I love that story to this day, because this story has so many negatives of just like, we walked there when I had blisters on my feet and I was still being stubborn about not telling people I had blisters. Max is just sitting sad in this Taco Bell with me, and there's no one in the Taco Bell. It's at night. We come back and we decide, well, let's just put on TV, and it's the third presidential debate between Clinton and Trump. It's just like...
What an evening.
It's like you have sadness in your belly and you have sadness on your eyes.
Okay, so I have a final one on Twitter.
Okay.
Favorite movie in 2019? Go.
Birds of Spies in Disguise, man. I mean, legitimately, Spies in Disguise was a good movie, but
missed it.
You'll find it. Watch the home release. But
I
no,
guess I
in
will
all
have to.
honesty, this may just be the default answer. It is either not that. It would either be Klaus or Endgame.
No Us?
Us was great, but I feel like Endgame and Klaus resonated more with me. Like I have more of a emotional attachment to him.
You are still looking, Dusty?
Yeah, because I saw so little in movies last year. I mean, I don't even remember the movies I went. Oh, you know what? I do remember. I only saw like 3 movies last year. One being, of course, Star Wars. But I saw Rocket Man in the theater.
Oh, Rocket Man's great.
Rocket Man was an amazing, and yeah. So I would have to say my movie of 2019 was Rocket Man.
Egan Tarragon, or however you pronounce his name, I want him to become big, and because he was great as Elton John.
He was amazing as Elton John.
I think, controversial opinion, hot take, I think he did a better job portraying a musician than Sami Malek did or Rami Malek did as Freddie Mercury.
I would.
They were both good. I just it also maybe because I like Elton John more than Freddie Mercury.
Could play into it.
I like them both equally well and way up there. So having watched both movies, I think that Rocket Man as a movie was better executed than the Queen movie was. So I like Rocket Man as a movie better than the Queen movie, even though I'm a huge Queen fan. Performances between the actors were about on par. It's just as a movie as executed, I think what Rocket Man was done better.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. What about you, Maximilian?
I mean, I could go with an easy answer like Far From Home or Endgame. But to mix it up a little bit, I want to throw out Toy Story 4 as oh boy, I did not. This did not go well with Dusty. No, but I want to give it extra credit for it was completely. When I heard after Toy Story 3 that they made a 4th one, I was like, why? There is nothing left. You neatly wrapped it up. But I like it that they gave it a little bit of that they broke the mold, that they went a different place. They had the that they went this outside thing. They saw those wild toys at a thing, and also a love story. 4 movies in the making. Yeah, it's for money, but if we're talking money, anything coming out of Disney is.
Can I just call Into the Spider-Verse a 2019 movie? Because I think 2019 was a great year for film, but I think I liked Into the Spider-Verse more than every film in 2019.
I stopped watching Toy Story.
Also, Spider-Verse was the big middle finger to Disney and Pixar for the best animated feature in the 2019 Oscars, which was great since Disney thought that it was going to get it because in all the DVD stands that they released for Wreck-It Ralph 2 saying it was the winner of the animated film award before the award ceremony happened.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
But okay, Discord. Let's I'm only picking one of these, and then we're going to go to the FMK. Let's see. Okay, so Your Pain Feeds Me asks, ask Awkward, fill in the blank for the other people in the podcast. I'm going to put this image in the Discord chat.
Boop, boop. Okay. Oh no, I cannot do it. For fuck's sake.
Oh no.
Do
I need to give it to you in Skype?
Yes.
Okay, give me 1 second. It's basically the
Uno meme.
where it's like blank
Uno
or draw
meme.
25 cards, and you'd rather draw 25 cards.
Yes.
Well.
Yes, Odie agrees with me. Spider-Verse wins Best Movie of the Year every year. It's like how Uptown Funk wins Best Song every year.
It's funny because it is true. So, finally, it took me only forever to get this on screen. Is it on screen? Ah! It is on
Yeah,
screen.
it's on screen.
Okay. So, fill in the blank.
But yeah, so basically, you have to put in something or draw 25. So what is something that you would rather do something like draw 25 cards in Uno in that level of doing something stupid than admit something or do something?
For
I have
ourselves
mine.
or for
I
for
thought
ourselves?
about this
for
one.
Ourselves, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yourself.
What?
I would pick, I think someone actually wrote this on, someone tagged me in this one on Twitter saying, compliment your own art or draw 25 cards.
Yep, this sounds like
I'm terrible at complimenting my own art. It is the humble guilt of an artiste. I guess that's just my thing. I do like this meme, but it's so like hard to pick something because
Well, I know mine.
it's a would you rather question. It is making a would you rather.
But
Yeah.
make your own, would you rather? Dusty, what is yours?
Give up motorcycles or draw 25 cards. I'd be drawing 50 cards, or 75 cards, or 100
I
cards.
just pick up the whole
You
deck.
will never, you will never get me to give up motorcycles. I've had girlfriends try to get me to give up motorcycles. I said, get out the frickin' door. I told you when we started dating, you're not taking two things away from me: my fandoms or my motorcycle. Go away.
That should be a very easy standard, like
Okay.
in theory.
What is mine? I mean, it's probably also. On the
Eating
one
Give
hand,
up being furry trash or draw 25 cards.
I mean, on the one hand, it's very easy, but on the
Eating
other hand,
schnitzel.
to find something, on the other hand, you have this vast array of things that you could be like, yeah.
Just pick one.
Pick one. Okay.
German beer.
No, I easily could give it up. I know.
Blasphemy.
I'm a
Achievement
weird
hunting?
German. Oh. but that's the game. I often enough just give up on achievement. But okay. Pursue any other character in Stardew Valley besides Leah, or draw 25 cards.
You would just pick up the whole deck at that point.
Flop.
Okay, that's good. But now we
yeah.
come near the end of our show, which means we have one more question. Welcome to Fuck, Marry, Kill. Everyone's favorite time to make our guest regret that they came on this show. Okay. Your Joy Soothes Me asks, by the end of this, someone is going to fuck their childhood board game that brought them a lot of grief and anger, and I'm okay with that. Fuck, marry, kill. Uno, sorry, or Monopoly. And then parentheses, he said, $10 says Key and Monopoly get hitched. Ooh, you shouldn't have said that. Ooh. And also, fuck you. Now I have to think.
Dusty,
But
do you
yeah,
want to go
so-
first?
Kill Uno. Hated
Okay.
that game.
Okay, fair.
Fuck sorry, because it's a cheap, very shallow game. And very Monopoly.
Because?
Why not? Because
Money.
Monopoly can be played again and again and again and again. It's a different game
That's true.
every time.
Okay.
Monopoly is probably one of the most brilliant board games ever.
It is a great board game. I will admit. I think as a child, I think I played Monopoly like one of the most. That and Scrabble. I played Scrabble a lot too. That says the type of person I am. Money and being a smartass by knowing more words than other people. Are you looking up what sorry is?
No, I already did. No, I'm looking up something else. That.
Do you want me to go next then?
I can also go in a second. No, come on, I can do it. No.
Okay, I'm gonna go next.
Okay,
you
you
bore
go
me. So I am going to, you know what? I'm gonna kill Monopoly.
Oh my. I wanted to kill
And
Monopoly.
not just because Wolfhead betted $10 that I was going to pick Monopoly. No, I'm gonna kill Monopoly because while it is a fun game, it is also a normalization of everything that's wrong with businesses because it's a fucking monopoly. We're supposed to have trust laws for a reason.
Well, back when Monopoly was actually created, there were no such things as trust laws.
Ah, yes, that is
There was
true.
no such thing as
But something has
anti-monopoly
to
laws.
snub that flame.
But okay, you're killing Monopoly, fair.
And then I think I'm gonna go with Dusty. I'm gonna fuck Sorry because, well, that game fucks people over anyways.
Yep.
I mean, the whole point, why do you think it's called Sorry? It's like, sorry! It's like, I'm like, I don't want to be married to you.
So you marry Uno?
And then I'm gonna marry Uno because it has a very colorful personality.
Hey, I see what you did there. Hey.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Now, how to spice this answer up? The thing is, I really don't want to kill Sorry, so I have to kill one as you two did already. I'm probably going to kill Monopoly, but with the argument Dusty used, because I really didn't like this game. I'm not a fan of Monopoly. I don't like it. Stupid game. So Monopoly is killed.
You have no taste.
It's a game that is designed to make you feel miserable. It's designed to make you.
It's not miserable if you win.
Yeah, but it's designed to make you feel miserable. It's literally like propaganda against capitalism. And
I
if
know, but
people would not play it with house rules as they do all over the world, this game would not be playable and have fun with. Anyways, I already killed it. We don't need to talk bad about the dead, except that it being dead was the reason for me killing it. So, which leaves me like with I gonna fuck Uno because Uno is like Espanol, and we know how those Mediterranean, especially from my European point of view, how those Mediterranean. Yes,
Mediterranean. Also,
Exactly.
Mediterranean's Italian.
What?
The Mediterranean Sea doesn't go to
Italian.
Spain.
Yes, of course it does, and also to Greece and to Egypt and to.
Yes, the southern part of Spain.
I don't
is
count
Mediterranean.
Spanish people as Spanish people as Mediterranean.
But Uno is still
Southern
a Spanish.
people are.
It's still a.
Southwestern Spanish people are Mediterranean.
Yeah, Spain.
I'm picking no.
Spain
only
has
Italians are Mediterranean.
Spain has probably more coast in the Mediterranean Sea than in the the Atlantic, because the majority of the Atlantic coast is reserved for Portugal.
You know, I'm just being an Italian
Yes.
asshole, right?
Yes, but nevertheless, for those southern fiery Italianic temperament, I am fucking Uno because I assume that this game has it too, and I'm going to marry Sorry for a very specific reason. If I marry Sorry and we start a family, a child of Sorry is Dog, and Dog is a very great game that I love playing, and what dad wouldn't want to play with his child a lot. Therefore, I marry Sorry to create Dog, which is a fantastic game and everybody should try it. I'm still not sponsored by anybody.
I don't think any company
No.
would look at our podcast
Sponsor this show.
and think
Not even.
this
Not even.
is something I want
Raid
to give
Shadow
money to.
Legends would sponsor this show.
You know
Or
what?
Squarespace. Or Audible.
The moment
I
we,
mean-
we promote
Radio
audiobooks
Channel
on this show so much, Audible needs to sponsor us.
I mean, Enigma already offered last week to sponsor us if we all talk about audiobooks.
The offer's still out there, Enigma. I'll take your money. I sound like such an ass. Well,
Wow. Hey, Dusty, how
I
was
feel
it to
awkward.
be back here?
What? Sorry.
I screwed this up. Oh boy.
I
What?
feel awkward.
Indeed.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random crap. It's time for awkward guests. It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward guests. It's the awkward. Artwork and analysis which you do not want to miss on awkward.